What's up, everybody? It's your boy, True Element 78 in the building with
your reigning and defending Mondo Lucha Hall of Famer. Why so serious? The X-Man Xavier Mustafa.
And I am the man with the justifiable ego, the infamous narcissist, aka the natural Chris Black.
And you are tuned into the 26th episode of Saturday Night SlamCasters. We are here today to review AEW Dynamite and NXT on USA. The first,
what the hell is it called?
Yeah, the first 20. I was gonna say 24/7 or 24-hour. The first 2-hour episode of NXT broadcasted live on the USA Network. I tuned in. I was flipping back and forth between the channels. I can let you guys know I definitely did not miss that from my childhood. That just felt really weird and awkward to me going back and forth between the two channels. But
every time I tried to do it, there was all commercials on the other channel. I'm like, come on.
I'll be honest. I had the intentions of switching back and forth. I was going to primarily watch AEW, but I got sucked into NXT right from the start.
I'm not gonna lie. Show, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. You guys got any church announcements you guys want to get out?
Well, I just want to let everybody know that Legacy Pro Wrestling will be returning to the Root River Center for LPW 404. So check us out. We'll be selling tickets on we are selling tickets. LegacyProWI.com and Facebook.com/LegacyProWI. Fortunately, we don't have Chris Black on the show. He has made a grave error and booked himself somewhere else and forgot about his booking. But you know what? That's okay because Devin August is going to give him them hands as soon as they meet each other sometime in the future like he did before. But I digress.
I'm just giving Devin August a chance to, kind of get acquainted with his new title. When the timing is right, I'll be there to snatch it back from him. But speaking of which, October 11th, I will be up in La Crosse for RCCW's Tricks or Treats 6th event. Going down again October 11th. Now time at 7:30.
So James, are you the trick or the treat?
I'm a little bit of both.
Xavier Mustafa over there having a hard time getting his words out.
You said what now?
I said you were over there having a harder time getting the words out of your mouth than the Joker.
Yeah, I can't talk today. I'll be all right, though.
For those of you not to know, me and Xavier Mustafa had an opportunity to see the Joker tonight. The natural Chris Black has not seen it yet, so we won't be giving out any spoilers on here, but I definitely say it is a very important film to check out on so many levels, whether you're a comic book fan or someone who just cares about mental health. I would definitely go and check that movie out.
I'm going to have to take y'all word for it because I honestly had zero interest in even seeing. I haven't even seen any trailers, to be 100% honest with you. So that's how interested I am.
I went into it with kind of low expectations just because I'm like, you know what, this is the third carnation of the Joker we've had in recent years. And I was like, here we go with another Joker movie. But when I say this movie is brilliant, this movie is brilliant.
But come on. You already have, well, first of all, it's DC. Never mind. I guess DC doesn't even have a universe anymore because they already have an incarnation of Joker currently. So, anyway.
Yeah, but that one was designed to sell pop figures at Hot Topic. And now this is getting back to basics. But I digress. Like I said, you guys check out the movie. Maybe we'll do an offshoot for you guys talking about that movie because I do think that it is very relevant to the times. And like I said, a damn good movie. It is definitely a character piece. So that's one of the surprising things for me is liking it. And it's like clearly just about the character and the development of the character. But anyways, we're here to discuss wrestling. And there is so much of it that's going on now. We're recording this on Thursday night for you guys. So the 24 hours removed from NXT and AEW. We'll just say shots were definitely fired. AEW has won the first round of the ratings war with a 1.4 million viewership compared to NXT's 800 and I believe it was like 878,000 viewers. So congratulations to AEW on winning week 1 of the Wednesday Night Wars, if that's what you guys want to call it. I don't know if it's that a war just yet, but NXT definitely came out of the gate treating it like it was a war. And we'll start there with NXT, who kicked things off with the world title, well, not world title, but NXT championship match between Matt Riddle and Adam Cole, baby. What were you guys' thoughts and takes on that? And did you expect for this to open up the show?
Yes, because they announced it a couple days before that. But hands down, that match was phenomenal. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna share some text messages I sent to a friend of mine. Riddle versus Cole. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Just flip to AEW. Someone should tell Rhodes about the awesome match that was happening on NXT while he was wrestling. Laughing face emoji.
Okay, so, all right, I'm going to bring it down for just a second. The match was extremely good, but let's back up. When Triple H announced, I didn't hear it the day before, when he announced like on the pre-show, like a minute before they went live, he said that the opening match was going to be Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle. I tweeted, that's a good thing and a bad thing, because it was a very obvious attempt to grab people's attention right away. And I kind of feel like if fans saw that match, if you were unfamiliar with both companies, and they were basically saying, look, this is the best that we have right now, and we're putting that on first. Sure, you're going to watch that first match, but then you're going to be like, wow, you can't really top that.
Oh, we'll definitely talk about their struggles to top that later on in that show as well.
But I will say the match was good, but it was a bit spotty.
Yeah,
it was a lot of spots.
I felt like I had been living under a rock, 'cause I got the notification that there was a preview show, and I had heard no mention of there being a kickoff show for NXT at all. And I think one of you guys messaged and said they had some unknown rapper out there. Was it Wale or was it somebody else? Oh, what?
That
Wale?
was me.
What?
I sent that.
Mustafa was like Triple H so damn petty.
Right, they're going to do this random pre-show. They're putting the rappers on there. Apparently, I don't know, maybe Wale is a big deal. I don't know. I've never heard of him. But apparently he got 4 albums out. All right. But yeah,
he does Wale Mania WrestleMania weekend. You know that if you go to WrestleMania instead of Royal Rumble.
Well, apparently from what I hear, Wale is a traitor because wherever they were doing AEW was his backyard.
Oh, I posted that and said Wale is not loyal. I was like, AEW was in his own backyard, and here he is in Florida in front of 200 people at Full Sail Arena.
Right. But you know what? He made up for it later in the night, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, so I didn't get to see too much of this match. I got to see how hard-hitting it was, but my responsibility was AEW, so I had to grind through the Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara match that was happening over there. So I can say from what I saw of this match, really good. I like the fact that it was limited commercial interruption, and they really meant it over there on NXT. The first hour of AEW was, I say the first 45 minutes of AEW was limited commercial interruption, and then it just went completely off the rails. But sticking with NXT, Xavier Mustafa, were you going to retort what he said about it being spotty? I saw your mouth start to go up.
So, yeah, it was spotty, but it was spotty them telling the story. It wasn't spotty like Keith Lee and Jonathan Dijakovic or you know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, man, they busted their butt in that match. There was a lot of great falsies in there. I did think they did kind of overdo it with the Canadian Destroyers. I think there was like 2 of them in the match with kickouts immediately on the first one, and then he finally hit it later on. It was
I like the suspense. I like the fact that a couple times I was thinking, okay, that's got to be it. Oh, man, that's got to be it. It wasn't. But sometimes, less is more. But a great match, great match. Not going to complain too much.
Now, what I
but
can
it was kind
say,
of spotty.
now what I can say that I did see, and this was due to AEW taking their first commercial break, was the longest reigning NXT champion making his return to the Full Sail Arena in Finn Balor. Now, was this a shock? What was your reaction to seeing Finn Balor come down to the ring and announce that Balor is NXT, baby?
Okay. I can see the reason why they want to put Finn Balor on NXT, but I think he has more value on the main roster. But I guess that value is determined on whether or not they use him properly. So they'll probably use him better on NXT. So better choice NXT. But I don't know. He's got more people to work with on the main roster.
I was shocked. However, I think they're going to shake things up with the roster with NXT. That I think it probably would be a good placement for him. Because I understand what you're saying. Yeah, right now it would make more sense for him to be on the main roster. But if they're going to put some heavy hitters down there to help NXT out, which makes sense, I think it'll probably be a good move. I am hoping that they still continue with the Finn Balor and the Fiend storyline, because tell me that crowd at Full Sail will not absolutely lose their mind if those lights cut off when Finn Balor's in the ring and the Fiend shows up in the ring. Like, tell me they wouldn't lose the shit.
That's something that I think if they do that, that's something that will be built. Not even this upcoming WrestleMania, maybe the WrestleMania after that. Like, give it time to build both characters on both brands, and then let them have it.
He was so afraid to face Bray Wyatt again that he ran down to NXT. But I think what would be cool is if the Demon appeared on SmackDown or Raw, wherever Bray Wyatt ends up, and Finn Balor stays down in NXT and does his thing down there, and they try to separate the two characters. But it remains to be seen.
You know what? They can do that because that'll be the other side of the coin of Bray Wyatt. Well, you got Bray Wyatt and you got the Fiend, you got Finn Balor and you got the Demon.
Yeah. And then they have a Vanquish from this realm match.
All right, guys, we got to stop giving WWE all these storylines because they're not paying us.
They're not going to use them because they're kind of good. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, imagine if the options they gave Finn Balor was like, well, we got this storyline where you could cuck Rusev or you can go back down to NXT. He's like, you know what? I think I'm going to go down to NXT. They're like, well, you could also be the father of Maria's baby. I think I'm going to go down to NXT.
Yeah, he's good on that.
All right, I'm going to head out.
I do that pretty well, I think. Do I sound pretty good, Xavier Mustafa?
You sound like a witch.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I missed this promo. Velveteen Dream came out and cut a promo. Xavier Mustafa, you want to run down this promo for us?
I like Velveteen Dream. I feel that he should not cut long promos because his voice, I don't know, it does something after a while, and it's like, okay, I don't want to hear this anymore.
Okay.
It was all right.
I understand them wanting to show him live, but that could have been a tape segment.
And he was talking to Roderick Strong, right? He challenged him for the North American Championship is what we're getting at. And I believe it's happening on next week's episode.
Is it already?
Yep.
Okay. So continuing with the trend of the heavy hitter matches, I'm pretty sure that's going to open up the show to highlight Velveteen Dream for the new crowd, the new audience. Next up on the NXT show was a match I was looking forward to, and it started off hot and then became kind of botchy. And over on AEW, we had a match that started off cold and then got hot and got the crowd into it. So This was Io Shirai taking on Mia Yim, and Io Shirai won via pinfall. And over on AEW at this time, you had Rio taking on Nyla Rose for the inaugural AEW Women's Championship. So this one I was kind of able to flip back and forth because we were getting a lot of commercial breaks over on AEW and a lot of commercial breaks over on NXT. So I was able to see pretty much both of these matches. And yeah, we're going to get to AEW eventually. But yeah, this match, towards the end of it, I was kind of taken out of it. Chris Black, what were your thoughts on the Io Shirai Mia Yim match?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm so disinterested in Mia Yim that kind of spaced out during this match. I was watching it, but I wasn't. I like Io Shirai, but Mia Yim, there's something about her that just makes me not want to pay attention.
I was so bored with this match. I think the biggest problem was the match that preceded it. I think they should have, I don't know, stalled for more time or something.
That's why Velveteen Dream cut that long promo. That's what that was for.
I don't mean to say it like that, but this would probably be a better spot for the Pete Dunne match. I'm just saying.
You know what? Here's my thing. I don't know why they changed Io Shirai's gimmick because I think it's terrible. And what is Mia Shim or whatever her name is? What's her deal?
They look like a tag team.
I don't have any exactly. I don't feel any connection to her character at all.
I like.
You know what I'm saying?
I like. They're just building the next heel.
They're
building their next female heel.
I like Io Shirai's new character and entrance and everything. I think that is really dope. But I also think that it was probably offered to Rhea Ripley first because it's almost like, oh, we're gonna make you the Japanese or whatever ethnicity. We're gonna make you the Japanese Rhea Ripley, basically, because it's almost like the same type of character, and even like the same type of heel tactics and persona, in my opinion. Just one is got superstar written all over them on the main roster, and one has NXT superstar written all over them and down in NXT.
Yeah, I'm glad Io Shirai beat her.
I always butcher his name. The commentator,
Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah. Oh, I can't say his name for some reason. He kept putting over that she's the goddess of the sky or whatever he says. I don't recall her jumping off anything until the end.
I kept hearing that too, and I was like, I thought that was old girl that's over on SmackDown doing nothing with Asuka.
Karzane, no, but Karzane was tagging with her.
Yeah.
I think Mauro Ranallo just be making up shit sometimes.
That dude be making. What I like about him is he makes these pop culture references, and if you get it, it's great. But sometimes I'll be like, what if people don't understand what he's talking about? So I kind of understand why some people be pissed off at him, because he'll throw some random stuff out there. He'd be like Beyonce at a Jay-Z concert, this is great. Or I'm gonna be like, what? Like, okay, all right, you just pulled up.
Mauro Ranallo is the only reason I would like to see MJF come over to WWE, because he would heal on Mauro Ranallo so hard. Like, you nerd. Go play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Like, he made a really, really good Game of Thrones reference, and I was like, oh, I got that. But
he did say, I heard that one actually, and I kind of got it. Next up, we had Johnny Gargano defeating Shane Thorne. This match was quick. I can say that. Like, I saw them come out, flipped back over to AEW. The women's match was still going on. I flipped back, and Johnny Gargano was walking to the back. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. I don't know what else can be said about a Johnny Gargano match. I mean, you can't say anything wrong about his matches. They're always really, really good. Yes, it was quick. It was fast. It highlighted who he was. That's about it. You can't expect anything more or less from Johnny Gargano. It's going to put on an excellent match.
this is my first time seeing the guy that he wrestled, and like I thought that dude was pretty good. Like the match, hands down, was pretty good. He did a power bomb where he had dude at least 4 feet above his head when he dropped him down. I was like, how is that even possible? He like picked him up and then extended his arm fully, and he was above his arm, and then he came down. I was like, oh my God, that is beautiful.
He like threw him up in the air like a baby.
It was like a last ride, but then you're on top of the guy that's on top of the last ride. I was like, damn, that had to hurt, but that was a good match.
Next up, we had Shayna Baszler defeating Candice LeRae to retain the NXT Women's Championship. I actually thought that this was one of Shayna Baszler's strongest title defenses, even though this was also a pretty short match, in my opinion.
I think Baszler gave Candice LeRae, or maybe I don't think much of Candice LeRae, but I think Shayna Baszler gave her too much. She should have just dog walked her.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Candice LeRae, but that's also why I kind of enjoyed this match, because, like you said, they gave her a lot, so it made her look tougher than probably the last 3 women that actually challenged Shayna Baszler on takeover shows.
Right.
They gave Candice LeRae more here than Montez Ford's wife. It's late. Why can I not remember people's names right now?
You know what? Just to hammer home my hate towards Mia Yim. Everyone who's listening to this podcast knows that I'm a big supporter of Shayna Baszler. When Shayna Baszler had matches with Mia Yim, again, I just could not pay attention to the matches.
So here's my thing with Candice LeRae. I want to like her. I really do.
I don't.
But I cannot connect with her either. And I don't know if it's just because she is literally the female version of Johnny Gargano. And I like Johnny Gargano. But I feel like she's like a carbon copy of his. And I know that's his wife and everything, so I guess that makes sense. But I just don't buy it from her. I don't feel like that's really her style she's supposed to have. There's some type of disconnect there. I mean, I thought the match was decent for what it was. Not my favorite Shayna Baszler match, but it was still good. It was still better than the thing that was going on the other channel, but we'll talk about that one.
And then I guess Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are confirmed to be coming down to the NXT roster as well.
The Click, now, isn't that ironic? The Click is now in charge. The Click, who buried everybody, is now in charge of the next generation. You got Shawn Michaels already down there. You had Billy Gunn. You got Road Dogg. Triple H is the head of the shit.
Wait. Is that true?
Yeah.
I thought they were just at the show. They're coaches now?
Are they affiliated with NXT now?
No. They were just in the crowd. I was
about to say shit.
I was just fucking with y'all, but
no offense against them too, but like I just kind of. Well, I guess they both are smart in the business. I mean, they both have a lot that they can teach people. I think it'll just be kind of a weird fit.
Okay, and I doubt he'll ever hear this, but I think Kevin Nash, and I'm a big fan of Kevin Nash when he was like in his prime, but I think he's got an inflated self of importance as far as his contribution to the business.
His contributions to the business was a guaranteed contract. That's pretty huge.
Yeah. The only thing that made Scott Hall and Kevin Nash as big as they are was the NWO. Without the NWO, they'd be like, well, Diesel and Razor Ramon.
Actually, I don't even think that. I think the outsiders, being the outsiders, made them bigger than the NWO did.
I don't know, man. They were pretty important in WWE. Well, WWF at the time, before they went to WCW.
Were they really?
Diesel was
Nash
champion
was
for
a
a
very
year.
low drawing champ, and Razor Ramon never won the big one.
They had their moment. Their biggest moments came in WWE. We could put it like that. Diesel being champion for a year, and Scott Hall having the moment with the 1-2-3 kid, and that ladder match with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Scott Hall has some moments, but yeah.
And Scott Hall taking that stunner from Austin at WrestleMania.
God, where he had a spring in his ass.
I love how like Scott Hall would jump 18 feet in the air, and then Kevin Nash would just do this exaggerated bend over, bend back, and fall. Like literally, just down, up, fall. Like there was no jumping, there was no extra anything. It was just I'm bending over, I'm sitting back up and falling back.
If you were Stone Cold, you're probably like, "Come on, dude, really?
Come on, goddammit. Give me something."
But nobody sold it better than The Rock and Razor Ramon. Nobody sold that stunner better.
You don't like AJ Styles selling the stunner?
It was all right, but there's nothing on that.
Yeah. Also we had Mark Henry, Stephanie McMahon, and Alundra Blaze. Alundra Blaze looked awesome in the crowd. I just wanted to throw that out.
I thought that was just kind of random. That was just a random 3 people together. Like, what is this?
Mark Henry doing his best Bobby Lashley impression in the crowd. It's like, Bobby, I'm gonna one up you.
Right.
Next up, we had.
He was the first one to do that before it was cool. I don't know if you remember. He got a hand baby out there. He did it before Lashley.
Oh, and don't forget what else he did. China set that one up.
Sexual chocolate.
So, what'd you guys think of the Pete Dunne Danny Burch match? Of course, Pete Dunne won. Again, this was a very short match. NXT had about 11 matches in like a 2-hour span. It was like kind of ridiculous.
I don't think this match was necessary. It didn't need to be on this week's show.
It was one of the weakest Pete Dunne matches I've seen in a very long time. I loved what happened after the match, as I think that Damian Priest is an awesome character, and I think that was a great way to introduce him to the crowd.
Then maybe they should have did a Pete Dunne interview and then had Damian Priest come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't really need a match out of that, but I guess you want to introduce your new characters to, a new audience. I guess you put them on the card, but I don't think this match was necessary. It didn't need to be on this show.
Just kind of piggyback on what you were saying with this not being your favorite Pete Dunne match. Not my favorite Pete Dunne match either. Still was a good match. The setup at the end. I seen that one dude wrestle in ROH. Wasn't really impressed. We'll see how it works out in NXT.
Oh, you weren't a fan of Punishment Martinez?
No.
And to close out NXT, and this was very interesting to me because WWE decided to do a overrun for NXT. And we had the NXT Tag Team Championships being defended by the Undisputed Era going up against the Street Profits.
Let me go first on this.
Go ahead.
Because I am very, very critical of the Street Profits because they don't blur the line. They're usually over it as far as being respectable African Americans and being complete coons. But I will say their entrance had me fired up. So that's when I'll give Wale some credit. All right, cool. I felt the energy and the excitement of their entrance when that came out. So I do want to I will acknowledge when something is good. So even if, I don't care for the tag team or whatever, even though I don't almost say I don't care for them, but, I've been really very critical of them. So I do want to say something when they did something right. And I thought the match was actually pretty good. The match hands down, I thought was great. The entrance was the best part,
though. Whenever I watch the Street Profits in the ring wrestle, I love their work. It's just, I don't know, they're annoying on Raw. If I saw more of them wrestling and less of them talking, it'd probably be better. Now, did I hear them correctly? Did they say they're NXT, so maybe they're not going to be brought up to the main roster? Well, I don't know. Is it still considered the main roster?
I think they're still going to be narrators for Raw like they've been.
Lord,
why? You don't make people not like them. Just in case you just tuned in, this is what happened on Raw. Let me tell you about it. They don't want the smoke. Now let's talk about what's going on later on Raw. You don't want the smoke? That's all it is.
Why What's with his one glove?
He's
Is that a thing?
Pan
You the NXT expert.
Pan? I don't know.
First of all, why does he wear a crown? Is he just weird for the sake of weird?
Got me.
He's paying homage to Michael Jackson. That's the hand. That's the hand with the wedding ring on it. If he wears the glove, his wife can't question him why he's not showing it off.
Oh, God damn it! I guess I'm gonna have to be that guy again tonight. So Montez Ford, everybody's like, how charismatic this dude is. Is he really?
He is.
Is he really?
He is.
I get what you're saying. He can deliver it most of the time, but this is gonna sound really bad. People gonna hate me for this. I feel like it's phony. Like The Rock, you felt like that's how The Rock really acts in real life. Like
he's putting on an
felt
act.
Natural.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem too natural with Montez Ford, and I think just because it's so over the top. So maybe if he dialed it back a little bit, because you can dial it up too much. I know everybody say, okay, the best gimmicks are yourself turned way up. Yeah, but they can't be way up. You know what I'm saying?
You can't become a caricature of yourself.
Just think about it. If Stone Cold was to turn his stuff way up and he was really a super redneck and was calling people N-bombs and stuff like that, that would have been too much, right? You can't.
I don't know. I would have liked Stone Cold running around.
Don't go the Kurt Hennig route, rap his crap or whatever.
Imagine him cutting him that promo on The Rock. Let me tell you something, you dirty.
Oh man, off the rails. But no, I enjoyed this match. Again, to me, this wasn't one of the Street Profits' strongest matches. It also wasn't one of the Undisputed strongest matches. Like I said, I was shocked that they allowed it to do the overrun. I liked how they tried to do the interference thing, and it was cut off. That wasn't the end of the match, but the end of the match, it was expected that Undisputed Era was going to retain. I think that Street Profits on the main roster still doing their commentary. AOP doesn't have anything to do right now. Every other tag team is doing something at least on the main roster. I know we're about to have the draft or whatever, so I don't know where these tag teams are going to wind up. But I see the Street Profits being fed to AOP as the first opponents.
I just want to say, because you brought it up and made me think about it. The interference with the Undisputed Era at the end of that match. What pissed me off about the whole thing is the referee was right there.
Oh, we're going to talk about
dude leg. That should have been a DQ.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk more. We're going to talk even more about blind referees because they weren't the only one. There wasn't just one on NXT.
I'm just like, bro, y'all can't forget these refs in these matches.
Turn the ref.
And even if the ref, I'm telling all the business secrets. But anyway, the ref knows what's going on. He turned himself. God damn it! Oh, my shoes untied. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sit there and look at it like, oh, well, the joke me does. That was probably my biggest complaint about the man.
But I guess I don't know if to look at it as legitimate. I'll be like, you know what? If you get disqualified, they retain anyway. These guys been getting their ass kicked the whole match, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they might lose the match and lose the belts. Let's give them an actual fighting chance. It's like when a boxer is getting his ass kicked, and he's like, "Don't stop the match. I don't care if he headbutted me or hit me in the dick. Don't you disqualify him. I'm still in the fight until I'm knocked out."
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't AEW don't they have it where it's the ref's decision if they want to do a DQ or not?
Hasn't been officially stated that I know of. I know that's how it is in New Japan, pretty much.
Yeah, New Japan, the ref has discretion. There is no, just because you get hit with a chair is automatic disqualification. No, the ref has the discretion.
Yeah, you're not out until you're out.
Yeah, I thought I read something like that with AEW. Maybe I need to do some more research.
But maybe that could explain.
I would like if they gave them that out. Hey,
Yeah.
the referee sees it, but
It's up to them.
This is too big of a match for me to just end it on a disqualification. If you can continue and you're okay with continuing, then we can continue.
Right.
But if that chair shot took everything out of you, then I can give you a hug and you can go on to the back. But, okay, we touched on the match. The ending of NXT was my favorite part of the entire show.
Yeah,
that was rumored. I had heard rumors of this happening.
The psychopath is back, and he has his eyes on Goldie.
So I'm like, so they're finna do a 3-way with these three? Like, I like how they tease where it could be one opponent, it could be the other. Like, I like that.
So don't get too excited, because if I'm not mistaken, he's not clear for action yet. Doctor cleared him to work out and shit, but I don't think he's clear for action yet.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Tommaso Ciampa made his return to NXT, and he eyed down Adam Cole in the NXT.
Actually, he was eyeing Goldie.
Oh, and then he locked eyes with Adam Cole, like, I'm coming for my bitch, right?
Maybe he heard that in order to get a title shot, all you gotta do is stare at the title.
I will say both shows, with the surprises at the end, was both good shit.
And now, speaking of both shows, now we can switch on over. We can switch into full gear over here for AEW. Dynamite.
I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a nap now.
Dynamite. So did you guys get to watch the whole show, or were you flipping back and forth?
I flipped back and forth. What I did see, 90% of it I was not impressed with. That's my overall impressions of the show. I don't know if it's because WWE has spoiled me with production values. It just kind of annoyed me where you would have announcers where you see their mouth moving but you can't hear anything, and then you start hearing things, so you missed half of the person's introductions. Things like cameras not being in the right places when they needed to be. It just felt like everything was just off, and I don't think the production values were there.
I actually thought AEW had some great production values. And the thing for me was flipping back and forth, the contrast of the energy. Like, there's just something like you don't really realize it if you just tune into AEW and not AEW, NXT. And we all watch Raw, we all watch SmackDown. We know what those crowds are like, and we know what it's like to see a 15,000 seat arena filled and everybody losing their minds. But then on Wednesday nights, when you flip on the network or you flip on USA, and NXT is not going up against anything where you can compare and contrast, to see how loud and enthusiastic that crowd was for the AEW show, it just kept the energy level up for me. Like, even when I would get stuck on a match on NXT on Wednesday night, I would go to AEW and it would recharge my battery. I don't know.
See, I just agree with you on that. I think the NXT is just as loud and boisterous as the AEW. The only difference is the AEW had a lot more people because it's a bigger arena. So I ain't gonna let you get away with that one.
Natural Chris Black over there and fell asleep on us.
But there was a part in the first match with Matt Riddle them. They did a false. I can't remember what it was, but everybody stood on their feet. It was the most beautiful thing I ever seen in my life. And it was just a falsie, and even I was on my feet, even though I wasn't on my feet. But I wanted to be on my feet. Could have got on my feet, but I'm in here by myself, so I'm just going to.
It might have been that sequence of 4 moves that looked like each of them should have knocked them on their ass, but they just kept popping back up. Where he did that weird suplex on his goddamn knee.
Oh yeah. That I saw that.
That shit looks horrible.
I said that'd be my finisher.
So
Xavier Mustafa, prepare to take that from me.
If you get me up for it, I'll take it.
Pause. Blue Chew. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I don't know. My overall opinion of AEW?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like overall, because I actually went back and today I watched the entire show from start to finish today, and I liked the show, but it kind of showed how amateur they are in terms of like quality, and I don't know. There's just something. There's just I don't know. Like we'll get into it, but like Adam Page to me, the more I'm beginning to see of him, I'm just like, dude is not ready for this. I think
I've said it on here before. I know someone down in Chicago that should have had that spot.
Seriously.
So yeah, like I'm not a fan of Adam Page. I think it was the right decision by putting Pac over, since now we know how to actually say his name, Pac, the bastard Pac. But we'll start at the beginning. We had Cody Rhodes defeating Sammy Guevara to retain his number 1 contendership. So Cody will be facing Chris Jericho at AEW's next pay-per-view, Full Gear. This was an interesting match to me, but I'm kind of sick and tired of Cody matches because they all follow the same formula. There's always some type of shenanigans. It's like he is incapable of having a match that just is one-on-one, is just him, and is mano a mano. There's always got to be some rest spot in all of his matches for no fucking reason.
I agree.
I'm getting actually sick and tired of it. And I'm someone who has championed Cody Rhodes for a very long time, but every single one of his matches has this spot in it, and so I don't really know what the plan is with him and Chris Jericho face off. I hope that he keeps Brandy from ringside or something like that, because I see that having some disqualification finish or some type of crap. But I don't know. And Sammy Guevara, I felt like this was the opportunity for them to make something of Sammy Guevara. I actually would have preferred Sammy Guevara to go over Cody, even though him going up against Jericho, that would be a no-brainer on what would happen there, which I also think is a no-brainer was going to happen with Cody takes on Chris Jericho as well, because I don't think Cody is stupid enough to really book himself into the Triple H position.
I will say my biggest thing already with AEW, when they made that match, I'm just like, you got two of the owners, well, not two, well, Jericho's not really an owner, but might as well be, wrestling each other. Like, why?
Because wins and losses matter. And Cody has the best record.
Also the promoter.
and now Pac is 2-0 as well. So Pac would be next in line once Cody loses.
I think them having a pay-per-view this month, I think it's a little fast. I really think they should have held that off to November and then take these couple of weeks to kind of build some people.
Pay-per-view is in November.
So I thought it was one coming up in the end of October.
Nope, they got a full month. The pay-per-view is the second Saturday of November.
Oh, so they really could have built somebody up in there. Okay, never mind.
Well, okay, I hear you saying you want to build them up, but see, I didn't watch Lucha Underground. I know, I haven't seen one episode of Lucha Underground. Sammy Guevara, he used to be in Lucha Underground. Am I right or wrong?
Not sure. I watched the first season of Lucha Underground.
Okay. My opinion of him is like, who is this funny looking dude with a panda on his head?
Panda.
Who wrestles like he's drunk. Like I don't get him. Is he talented? Sure he is. And they said he's been in the business 9 years? I don't see it. But
no, it was a bocce match. Like I said.
Yeah, I'm not. And as far as Cody, I think Cody's works best with the American Nightmare.
He works better as a heel.
As a heel. Whatever he's doing now, he's not even a tweener. He's like a babyface heel or some shit. It's just, it's weird because I don't know. He needs to be a heel. I don't like his wannabe babyface persona or just wanna be liked, but of course he's gonna get pops because he's harsh owner, so he can't really be heel. So I don't know. His character is just kind of weird.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with him for me is like I think that he struggles with that. Is like, oh well, they're gonna cheer for me anyway, so I might as well put myself in the role of being the triumphant hero. So I'm a try to stack the deck against myself, but then my wife is going to help me to cheat to win or whatever, or try to help me cheat to win. And so I'm justified. I like, instead of going out there and actually putting in the work to actually be a good heel, instead of going out there, like Triple H knows, like even when he's going into a pay-per-view, obviously, like, you know, Roman Reigns was getting booed anyway, but Triple H was supposed to be the heel when he was going up against Roman Reigns. But of course he's going out there, he's getting the pops, he's getting the NXT cheers and different things like that. So Triple H is trying everything in his power to get everybody to hate him and to boo him. And I think Cody is afraid of putting in that work to try to do that because, yes, like you said, his whole American Nightmare thing and even the setup of him and his wife coming down to the ring and everything like that, it works better as a heel.
Right. And Brandy, I mean, she cheated at the end, did she not? Like, I get it. She was able to do it because logic. She was getting him back because he pulled her in front of Cody. So I could understand why she could have got a cheap shot in, but they doing heel shit.
And that didn't end the match. Remember that either. That's not what the match ended on.
Yeah.
The match ended on the most devastating move in professional wrestling.
I thought it was a foregone conclusion that Cody was going to win because he's wrestling Jericho, and they are making it a big deal about the whole, you know, if Sammy wins, I'm going to give him my title shot to Jericho. Okay, so you just basically told us you're winning. And I don't see Cody, maybe it's just me, but I don't see Cody as a main eventer. I just don't.
The crowd,
maybe
again,
that's what it is.
Great worker.
Maybe that's probably my disconnect with Cody. He's not a main event caliber wrestler, sorry to say. And they're forcing it like he is.
He's not. Just like, well, not just like, but like, you know, Adam Page.
I put more stock in Cody Rhodes than Adam Page.
Well, yeah.
Even everything from ring ability to character to everything.
Dude, Dustin Rhodes is more of a main eventer than Cody.
And that player didn't even have a spot.
Oh, he had a spot. He had a spot.
He got his face painted and everything.
He did pretty much. He pretty much did come out there like WWE. Like, you weren't even on the show. Why are you dressed? It's somebody that shows up to Legacy. It's somebody at Legacy that somebody was asking about why they got on their gear. They ain't even on the card.
You know, you just got to make sure all your wrestlers and non-wrestlers are ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Never know when it's going to be like, put me in the game, coach. And be like, all right, we need you.
Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. Ain't that what Kofi said?
Yeah. I'll have to tell you guys something off air.
So next up, we had MJF defeat Brandon Cutler via submission. And MJF making fun of all of the Dungeons and Dragons players out there in the world.
Oh, he's heel again? Oh, okay.
Okay. I like MJF. I think he's a good heel. I don't think he is a submission wrestler. I don't think he should be using submissions. He's a roll up, pull the tights kind of a heel.
Yes, I agree. I don't. He was a babyface the last show. Sorry, that bothers me. I need some consistency. What are you?
He was not a babyface the last show. He was not a babyface the last show. It was just we've already had.
He's Cody's friend.
He's with the babyfaces.
We already had this discussion. He
was a heel that was with the babyface team defending the heels against the babyface.
Hold on. So at the Legacy,
Mustafa,
so at the Legacy, so at the last Legacy Pro show, you were a babyface, right? And then Chris Black came out to help you with the whole hoopla at the end with Angel Armani, where they were trying to make you relinquish the title, and he had your back. So in that moment, Was he a baby face or was he a heel? Because he could have just went in there and put them hands on Angel Armani and you still be Legacy Pro champion.
Here's the difference. When I want you guys to go look at that video where me and Nell Dillinger got into it after his match with TC. They're separating us. Chris Black is literally beating people off of me to allow me to go and attack the heel. So that to me is a little difference that makes a big difference because it's like, yeah, we still cool, but I'm still a fucking heel. So here you go whoop his ass. I, as a babyface, I don't take that way out. I'm like, thank you, Chris Black, for helping me out here. But, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be cool. So, all right.
Hashtag we book better than you.
It's funny because somebody else pointed it out to me, and then I went back and watched the video, and I was like, he sure was. I likes that.
Well, yeah, so like I said, I wish this could have ended in a different type of way. This Brandon Cutler guy, I know that you could tell like this was the biggest thing he's ever done in his career and probably going to be the biggest thing he ever does in his career because he looked straight up indie.
They shitted on him before he came out. They were basically like, yeah, this guy grew up with the Young Bucks. I'm like, so basically you just said he got this spot because he knows them.
No.
He said the commentators said that this guy started wrestling, then stopped, and then was convinced to come back to the business.
Yeah, that was the part.
By his friends,
who
was just so happened to own a company.
Yeah, that was the part where I was like, dawg, they just killed him dead. Like
damn, y'all just buried dude.
Like we know how it happens in wrestling. The Young Bucks pulled up there, was like, hey, we got a young guy in the car. If you got a spot for him, can you put him on?
The young guy in the car.
And they was like, oh shit, I'm the promoter. Yeah, we got you.
See, you got it all wrong.
We need you to put over this new guy.
Hold on, look. Like, you got it all wrong. It wasn't we got this young guy in the car. They were like, we were on our way to the arena, so we ordered the Uber, and it just so happens that we grew up with our Uber driver, and he just came back to professional wrestling. So he said that he would waive the fare if we put him on the show.
And, pro wrestlers always got their gear bag with them.
Good one.
Man, he had a T-shirt on. He went to Hot Topic before he came out. But anyways,
I was not impressed by this dude at all.
I wasn't.
I guess he's enhancement talent, so I guess we're not supposed to be impressed.
This should have been a dark match, and it shouldn't have been MJF in this position.
No, they wanted to present MJF, and I get it. It got his character over, definitely. I like when he came out and he was basically like, turn off my music. You people don't deserve to hear this.
And then next up, we had the celebrity spot, usually reserved in WWE. So we had Jay and Silent Bob promoting their movie. And then Angelico and Jack Evans came out to make some idle threats to them when Private Party came out with the solo cups and passed them out to Jay and Silent Bob, and the segment just ended awkwardly. I don't know, because I don't know if you noticed, it looked like security actually chased Private Party off, and then Angel and Jack Evans pretty much just decided to peter off on their own. So I don't know what was expected to happen in this spot.
Yeah, it's like the segment started with them, and then like you said, Private Party kind of shuffled off, and then I don't know what the hell happened to Angelico and the flippy dude who sucks, but they just kind of shuffled off somewhere. And then like the Lucha Bros and who else just came out of nowhere, just started having an interview and then started fighting.
Well, no, SoCal Uncensored did the Barack Obama promo, and then they showed up on stage and were getting interviewed, and then the Lucha Bros came out and put them hands on them.
Yeah. And that's when the Lucha Bros, shots fired, if you caught that, they were just like, we are the best tag team in the universe.
They said it in English? I missed that.
Yes. They said they looked in the camera and said, in the universe.
So they're going to call it Universal Tag Titles now? Probably.
No, like, WWE Universe. They're the best in the universe.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my thing with the segment. First of all, you had the gimmick infringement with the solo cups. I'm just going to say that.
Actually, they didn't have solo cups. They had the plastic.
It wasn't solo
they had the plastic
cups.
cups.
It wasn't red solo cups.
They had the clear plastic cups.
Oh, I thought they had red solo cups.
No, they had clear plastic because I was like, man, that's apple juice. Because I was like, that ain't no beer. That's apple juice.
No hand.
Okay, well then that's secondary to the main thing. Okay, so you had Jay and Silent Bob out there. I know they out there promoting Clerks 3 or Jay and Silent Bob 2, whatever movie I'm finna go see in a couple weeks.
Bob looked like a bum.
Why they both look like they on the cocaine, man? Like, did they upgrade from weed to cocaine? Because they both look like they done had some binges.
So you saying
couple day benders.
Jay and Silent Bob does meth?
I'm like, and then like Silent Bob looked like his clothes was 18 times bigger than him. Like, what? I just didn't get it. I thought they looked.
October 11th.
They killed his gimmick because he started talking right away.
Right. But then again, Kevin Smith talks on everything else. So I guess
thought they were going to give him the mic, and I thought he was going to move his lips, but nothing was going to come out. Because I've never seen the damn movie, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that was actually one of the funny things, too. You think about the contrast of Wale. They're in Wale's hometown. I actually think Kevin Smith is from Florida. So I think that they flipped. Wale was like, you know what, I'm going to go to Florida. Y'all go up to D.C. But I don't know. Like I said, this was an awkward segment. Next up, we had Pac defeating Hangman Page with a submission move. I love Pac, man. Pac is awesome. The Black Arrow, busting that out.
Page got outclassed again.
Yeah,
and I know that's supposed to be their boy. They not booking him right if he's supposed to be the guy. Like, way outmatched in this match. Probably even more so worse than when he wrestled Jericho.
Yeah, and he got hit with everything from the Black Arrow, the Brutalizer. Like,
Jesus. So who do you put Adam Page against that's gonna allow him to shine? At this point, I think MJF would outshine the guy.
MJF would just cut a promo that just completely cuts the legs out from underneath him.
Sean Spears will outshine this guy.
I don't think they really know what to do with Adam Page's gimmick either. Like, what do you do with this cowboy gimmick?
Well, I mean, outside of his entrance, the cowboy gimmick is gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't know how to build a character around it. Which is also why I said...
Because you don't even get like a Bradshaw, like, sure, Justin Hawk Bradshaw or whatever, he was a cowboy when he came down, but then, like, he was still a damn bruiser.
Well, again, like, I don't feel like he has the personality to carry that gimmick on his own. Like, the way his gimmick is set up now, he needs a stable around him. Kind of like you just said, JBL had the cabinet. Hangman Page needs something like that.
Maybe the whole Hangman gimmick's got to go. And he just needs to reinvent himself.
Well,
maybe that's why maybe that's the purpose of the losing streak.
If his record keeps going like this, he's going to be dead man. He ain't gonna be Hangman.
Dead man walking.
You've done it now. You've gone and lost another match.
The dude lost. He lost pathetically. I mean, he tapped out in like the first 3 seconds. Like, damn. He just jobbed. He didn't. The hell with that. He just jobbed out. Adam Page straight up just jobbed out.
Who knows? Maybe he's still injured. I have no idea. But like I said, I haven't been impressed by Adam Page. AEW, you're listening. There's a wrestler down in Chicago who I don't know who infringed on whose gimmick, but pretty much the same gimmick, more ability, more personality. Hit up Xavier Mustafa for contact information.
And he wrestles like a cowboy. He wrestles like his gimmick.
So, next up we have.
I'm shaking my head. Yes, I know people can't hear that out in TV land or radio land or podcast land. I just realized I'm like, this is pretty stupid. I'm shaking my head yes, and they can't hear me.
Yeah, he's just nodding approvingly. I'm like, you think you Charlie Chaplin? Next up, we had the AEW Women's Championship match where Rio defeated Nyla Rose, which was a definite surprise, and this was the loudest the crowd was all night. I felt like the crowd was dead for the beginning of this. Nobody really cared. They thought it was going to be just a straight up squash, and then when you see Rio really starting to build up some momentum and fighting back, and you see this isn't going to be a 30-second match, the crowd really, really got into this.
Oh, this match was so bad.
It was botchy,
I hated this match so much.
It was botchy, but I enjoyed this match for what it was. This was the best women's match that AEW has put on yet.
And that is so sad to say.
And that's not saying much by saying that.
Yeah, it's not, but I don't know. They did the David and Goliath thing the right way. And
I know I'm normally that dude, but I'm not even trying. I'm not hating on Nyla Rose at all. If I criticize Nyla Rose, it's because I expect more from her. I just do, and she's just disappointing me. She showed a little bit more. I'm about to say last night, than I've seen. Unlike most people that I've heard comment about this match, I think they made the right decision with giving Rio the win, because now Nyla's at the back of the line. So she can just steamroll through everyone over the course of the next 6 months or whatever.
She gets to show how much of a monster she is.
Once every 3 weeks. Not every week, because if someone like Nyla Rose shouldn't be wrestling every single week. She should wrestle maybe once a month, hell, and just steamroll through people until she earns her title match back. And then people are going to be like, oh my God, when this beast gets her opportunity again, it's going to be on. And people are going to anticipate the match. I think if booked properly, they can still salvage Nyla Rose. I still have high hopes for Nyla.
We need to title this show the Xavier Mustafa apology show, because I'm gonna have to apologize for what I'm about to say, because it's gonna come off very, very mean. But I don't know if y'all seen some Nyla Rose matches. I haven't, because every time I see her wrestle, it is trash. It is trash. Like, granted, okay, yeah, they keep her off TV for a while and only bring her every once in a while. I may forget that she's trash because they will have that spread out. But I didn't think I thought a lot of the spots were goofy and clumsy, and I understand they were trying to do the David versus Goliath things, but I didn't think it came off well. I think she did the champ a disservice in that match. Just finally ready to wrestle. I'm not a Nyla Rose fan. Sorry.
Well, let me say something real quick.
Go ahead.
I think that they put the belt on Rio for two reasons. One, I'll probably get some flack for, but everybody knows what is going on with Nyla Rose or whatever, and the people on the internet and the smarks or whatever. I think that they didn't want that smoke really like that, which, like I understand that Nyla Rose has transitioned or whatever, but the world isn't all the way there with acceptance or whatever. So in the eyes of some people, still a man beating on a woman or whatever. So whatever to those people or whatever. But I think AEW didn't really want that smoke and to make that issue larger than it needs to be, because they would have got mainstream coverage for that for the right and the wrong reasons. And eventually I think it would have been more of the wrong reasons that people would have been focusing on, instead of them crowning a champion and it being monumental for the LGBTQ, the alphabet soup, as Dave Chappelle say, or alphabet police, like for that group of people. But then the other reason you put the belt on Rio is you bring all these Joshi girls over here, and you don't want to be like WWE and just waste those talents. Like, you have an opportunity here to expand your brand to some of the most hardcore wrestling fans in the world. So putting the belt on Rio gives them international sachet, should I say.
Okay. I get it, but if they're going to put the belt on someone other than Nyla Rose, not that I'm giving Mustafa looking at me like I'm giving her like way too much credit. Like, if they're going to give it to somebody else, is Britt Baker, is she injured or something?
She was injured.
Okay. But I said, why wasn't she in the match? Why wasn't the fake ass
She was on commentary.
Bailey?
She's not with the company anymore.
Oh, never mind. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think she's wrestling at all anymore, right?
No. She just had a match.
Family.
No. She actually just had a match.
Who was the one that recently quit the business entirely?
Kylie, right?
That was her. She was leaving for like health or personal issues or something, but she did just have a match, I believe, like a couple weeks ago. Like she's back or whatever. I don't really know what the story is behind it or whatever. But then I do want to give Nyla and Rio this credit. Like I know you're saying spots weren't working and some spots were botching. The one thing that I will give them, and this is something that not a lot of people do, at least from what I've seen, and you guys, of course, have way more experience than me. I like that the spots that were botched or that weren't hit, they didn't go back to those spots and be like, let's try it again. They moved on to something else. Because it was a spot where Rio was supposed to like pick Nyla up or something like that, and it didn't work. She couldn't get her up.
Crumpled.
Yeah, she crumpled, and so then they went on to a different spot. Then it was a spot in the corner where something was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen. My biggest criticism of this entire match was the fact that Nyla was already looking like a beast, and my favorite spot was probably everybody's spot in this match when Rio, of course, she only weighs like 50 pounds, jumped from the top rope out the outside of the ring, and Nyla snatched her out of midair and then like just threw her around like a piece of garbage. I love that spot. But the spot that didn't make any sense to me was the fact that Nyla is going to bash her with a chair. Like, why? For what?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Like, this is for the first women's title. Like, the stacking the whole chairs thing, I can understand that. But the whole I'm going to bash her with a chair, like, that didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. I will say I like the finish. I think the double knees to the face, I think that'll pretty much realistically will put anybody down. I don't know. If you're only 50 pounds running at someone, maybe that wouldn't, but I thought it was fairly believable. I thought the finish was good. I cringed because I saw how she just buckled under Nyla's weight. Like, that was not that was not a shoot. I mean, that was a shoot. She straight up buckled. Her legs gave in. When they went and they repeated that from the top rope, I'm like, oh my God. I thought she was going to crush that little girl.
And that will not happen to me when I retire Xavier Mustafa. He going to get lifted up and slammed down.
Right.
He not going to ride back me. But yeah, so like I said, I enjoyed this match. Of course, at the end, Nyla comes in starts beating up on Michael Nagasaki or whatever his name is, and Kenny Omega
almost
makes the save.
Huh? She almost broke his neck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then Kenny Omega comes out to break things up. So. And everybody got geeked because they thought that Kenny Omega was gonna hit Nyla Rose with the one-winged angel or something.
V-trigger. Knock that wig right up her head.
I'm like, where are they going with this?
So you said you're not a fan. It's probably gonna be an intergender match or something. You said you're not a fan of Nyla Rose. Let me ask you this: rank these three people in you rather watch to you rather not watch. So start with the person you rather watch to the person that you wouldn't want to watch at all. Nia Jax, Tamina, and Nyla Rose.
Nia Jax, Tamina, then Nyla Rose.
And you said from who you would want to see?
Yeah. And then one more. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, or Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose then.
That is all.
Brie Bella, that kind of.
I will be a happy person if I never have to see Brie Bella and fucking Nikki Bella wrestle ever again.
And they up there with Sasha Banks with the botches.
Oh my goodness, dude! You and Sasha Banks, man. I hope you run into Sasha Banks one day.
You know what though? I don't think she botched since she got back though. So she's had a good track record so far.
Cause she ain't nervous about hurting people no more.
Yeah.
She learned that shit happens in the ring. Everybody got a bump card, and it's not your responsibility to keep track of somebody else's bumps.
I mean, last time she bumped, she took somebody out for their career, so I get it.
A career she should have came back to after the injury in the first place.
And I'm not even a big fan of Paige, but whatever.
I'm a big fan of her work.
Which one?
We talked about the things I've signed up for in order to keep track of Paige's career, But next up, we had the main event. It was Chris Jericho along with Santana and Ortiz defeating Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in a 6-man tag match. This match was ridiculous.
Let me just say, anyone who's watched wrestling more than a year should have known with the opening spot what Jericho was going to do. Like, no one didn't see that coming. When Jericho asked for Omega to come in the ring, and then he tags back out. I saw that shit coming a mile away. The match itself, though, the Bucks were kind of tame in this match. But the match was not that interesting to me.
Most interesting part came in the beginning of it when Jon Moxley came into the ring and took Kenny Omega completely out of the match, and the ref did nothing about that, and then gave him the I forgot what they're calling it in AEW, but the dirty deeds through a table in the VIP area, through a glass table.
It's called the Death Rider.
Yeah, the Death Rider.
Yeah. Okay, so I get it. I'm about to say Dean Ambrose. Jon Moxley is, crazy and kind of, crazy. But I think the insane spots are a bit much. Now, unless they gimmick the hell out of that table, or the glass was gimmicked.
It was gimmicked because the whole thing shattered.
That shit's dangerous as fuck. I don't know. It almost getting to the point where Dean Ambrose just can't have a regular match.
Well, he hasn't had a match in AEW yet.
Well, he had one, I guess. I guess that's true. He's only Joey Janela, but that was whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Well, maybe his work is going to be more like his New Japan work.
That Joey Janela match wasn't in
Climax tournament because I loved all of that shit. But I think he goes to the outside of the ring shit too much. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was in AEW. That was a Fyter Fest.
I think that Omega is the wrong target because why does Moxley want to fight him? He hasn't won shit. Seriously, what is Moxley's beef with Omega?
It's to pad his record. Because before I mentioned Pac is probably going to be facing Jericho. When Jon Moxley defeats Kenny Omega, then you get Pac versus Jon Moxley. And if you noticed, I just realized this now, thinking back, there was no hardcore matches on this first show. But from what I've heard, there were about 5 dark matches, and everybody walked out on the last match. I guess it was Britt Baker. It was like a women's tag match or something, dark match after the show. So
all the dark matches were after the show?
They had, from what I've heard, I believe there were like 3 before the show and 2 after the show. Because we just did the whole card and then they had like 5 matches, and then you look at NXT, they had like 7 or 8.
But okay, so after Moxley just absolutely takes Omega out of the match, they continued surprisingly with just a 2-on-3 handicap with the Bucks against Jericho, and I keep wanting to just call them LAX because that's who they are.
Yeah, and this was designed just to show. Of course, the Young Bucks hit all their spots or whatever, But I feel like this 3-on-2 situation was designed to really just get the Bucks over as like one of the best tag teams in the world, I guess. Even though every match they just hit the exact same spots over and over and over again, it's like nothing for them to do this anymore, because I don't feel like LAX were really effective at all. They were just taking all the offense from the Young Bucks, and then Jericho finally hit the Judas effect, and that was for the 1, 2, 3. And then then they started beating down on the Bucks, and then Cody comes out to make the save, and Sammy Guevara comes out and takes him to Dick Kick City, as they say on Wrestling with Regret. Then Dustin Rhodes comes out and takes Sammy Guevara to Dick Kick City, and then we have the debut of Jake Hager, the former Jack Swagger from WWE, pops into the ring and just starts giving them hands to everybody.
But you know what? He looked lost afterwards.
He looked doe-eyed.
He did look like he didn't know what was going on.
He didn't know.
He's like, what's going on?
Where's the cameras at? He's like, oh my God, the PCP is wearing off. The Dean.
I was just waiting.
Like he was amazed to be there. That's the look on his face. Like, oh my God! Like
he thought he
I
was
was just
playing.
waiting on him to say. Oh, right.
As I said, he thought he was playing Dungeons and Dragons. He woke up out of his stupor. Like, oh my God, those were actual people out slamming in and stuff.
You know what? Jack Swagger, like he's not a small dude, but he towered over like everyone in the ring.
It's because the average height of that match was 5'8".
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting the response online to seeing Jake Hager, or like I said, the former Jack Swagger from WWE, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's not that special," and yada yada yada. People tend to forget how quick WWE put that World Heavyweight Championship on him, and how big he was at the time that they did it.
I was always a big supporter of Jack Swagger. I think that he was missing something, but athletically, he was there.
Yeah. And the DUI is what messed him up in WWE. And then his We the People gimmick got over so hardcore, but WWE kicked the legs out from underneath that when they had to go and explain the gimmick on the news channels. Like, this is just an act or whatever, we're actors and yada, yada, yada. Like, that kind of killed the gimmick for him in WWE. But
AEW is really putting over his MMA background or experience. I'm not going to call it background, his MMA experiences.
Yeah, I think one thing that they kind of need to stay away from is saying his actual record. Like, it's one thing to say he's undefeated in Bellator or MMA. It's another thing to say he's 2-0, because that's not really impressive. What sounds more impressive? He's has an undefeated record in Bellator or MMA, or he's 2-0. Who have you fought? Now I got to go look at your record. You only fought 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
So, is this an official faction? Is Jericho and his band of merry men?
This would be one of the most awkward looking factions ever. You got Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Chris Jericho, and LAX. So
I like how you use my faction name for a different faction.
What's that?
It's like the Band of Merry Men.
Oh.
You know what? That's actually
inside joke, listeners.
Well, you know what? That's actually what Rusev and Maria Kanellis, Mike Kanellis and Rusev are going to form, the Band of Married Men.
Oh my God.
We're tired of everybody fucking our wives long dick style.
Please don't tell me that's going to be Rusev's new gimmick. Is he's going to be a cuck?
Man, I can't wait to post up the predictions. And speaking of the predictions, our Hell in a Cell predictions will be going up. If not Saturday morning, they'll be up Friday night for you guys. So, or should I say tonight for you guys, because this is going up on Friday. So yeah, so Hell in a Cell predictions coming, and we'll be obviously reviewing Raw and SmackDown as well, since SmackDown does move to Fox tonight. So we're supposed to record the predictions after SmackDown. So you guys have that to look forward to in the morning or later on tonight. Anything else from this show? I do want to.
So let me ask you too. All right, after watching NXT and AEW, looking forward to next week, which show are you more interested in seeing?
I'm gonna stick with AEW over here.
Stick with NXT.
I think I'm gonna do what I did this week. I don't see why I should change it. I'm gonna watch NXT first, and then I'll watch AEW second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then the only reason I say NXT is because not NXT, AEW is I want to learn these characters more and see what type of characters they give them. One thing that NXT did this week they hadn't done the 2 weeks that they didn't have any competition, official competition going up against them, is they didn't do any character work in NXT. It was just strictly wrestling and strictly matches. Over here in AEW, you have an opportunity to kind of learn about these characters, and also they didn't utilize everybody that they have, so I'm very interested to see what they do with the people who weren't on television this week and how they plan to rotate their roster. What's going to be their way of keeping their not just keeping their roster fresh because they only do one show a week, but just how they're going to tell these stories and how they're going to get everybody a check.
Right, because looking at both rosters, it seems like NXT, right as of right now, NXT has a deep enough roster where they could have like 2 or 3 weeks to not have the same people on, but still have stars on every show. I mean, they would have to obviously shuffle it up a little bit. Like this show is pretty heavy with Adam Cole, Matt Riddle, Gargano, Baszler, Pete Dunne. I mean, that's kind of stacked. But if you spread that out a little bit more and sprinkle a little more, mid-carders in there, yeah, you can go like 3 weeks without having the same people on TV. Now, I can't say the same with AEW because like all the top people are there. The Young Bucks, Omega, Jericho, MJF, Cody, Pac, Adam Page. Like, who else do they have?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that they got everybody on the show except for Kenny Omega. He made the little appearance or whatever, but he didn't wrestle. And out of all of the names that they have, Jericho didn't wrestle, and Kenny Omega didn't wrestle. And the dark matches were Britt Baker and Sema and those and people of that ilk and the Joey Janela's and Luchasaurus and stuff, like those guys didn't wrestle. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in week 2 and week 3. Like I said, how they're going to rotate the little roster that they do have. And also they said they have people who are under contract that we don't know about. Like Tony Khan came out and said that Jake Hagar had been signed with them for months, but nobody caught on or knew about it. And so.
And he's good at keeping secrets.
Right. So and it's a lot easier to keep secrets when you got Dave Meltzer already in your pocket.
Well, I mean, I think people are learning now, like in the wrestling business. If I was to think about it, if it was going to be a shock for me to sign with AEW, guess what? I'm not saying anything to anybody either because I wouldn't want my debut to be leaked.
Right. So, well, as far as we compared and contrasted earlier, I do feel like NXT was a stronger show this week. I enjoyed AEW for what it was. It was a great start. Hopefully the fans return back to it. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in week 2, how many people they have hooked and that are willing to tune in the same way that I said I'm willing to keep tuning in just to see where they take it or what else they have to offer. They got people that they didn't get on the show, so I want to see how they utilize those people. And I'll probably be flipping back and forth again. Now, one thing I do want to say is it's going to be interesting also to see how long this limited commercial interruption thing goes, because the limited interruption thing is good for the most part, but then it comes back to bite you in the ass because, like I said, 45 minutes of AEW was pretty much commercial free, but they damn sure made up for all the commercials they skipped in the first hour, that second hour. and the whole like split screen wrestling and action in the box and commercial playing in the other box. I'm not paying attention to that little ass box.
Hope you'll hurt your eyes. Shit.
So, I don't know. Anything else you guys got to say about the two shows from Wednesday night?
No. I'm going to be interested to see what the numbers are going to show next week, because I think the fact that AEW got more viewers, I think the number one contributing factor to that is because curiosity. To be quite honest, just curiosity.
I know I did my part. I just turned TVs on and all the TVs in the gym onto AEW. So, you guys are welcome. I got you like 9 more screens.
Also, you were helping them out. Let's see how this
system is rigged, baby. Other than that, you guys want to give out your social medias?
At Xavier Mustafa on Facebook and Twitter.
You can catch me at Twitter at _natural_CB and on Facebook and Instagram at the natural Chris Black.
And before we get up out of here, I do want to send a special thank you to everybody who, like I've been saying, has been supporting us. We just passed our 1 year of doing the show. We have episodes all over YouTube. We got episodes all over wherever you get your favorite podcast from. This was episode 26. So if you're interested to listen to our 1 year anniversary, I will put the link down there in the description. Please keep in mind that we do put out new podcasts every second and fourth Saturday out of the month. Those are the podcast episodes, and bonus content goes up right here on the YouTube channel where you found this. We will be having our review of Raw and SmackDown from this past week going up over there, and that's going to be along with the Hell in a Cell predictions, mainly because you can't really get predictions if you haven't talked about how we got to those predictions. So that should be a quick little short and sweet 30 to 45 minute episode for you guys. It'll be going up on Friday night, which is today, or Saturday morning for your listening pleasure. Before we get up out of here, I just want to ask my co-host one more question, since this is going out before SmackDown. Is Kofi walking out of SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown, as world champion?
Kofi's going to take the Dominic ass whooping.
I've gone back and forth in my mind with this. All I know is they have no advertised championship match for Sunday. I think WWE might pull a bait and switch. I'm thinking they might not, because that'd be real shitty of them, but they may pull a bait and switch and either have the actual Brock Lesnar Kofi match happen on Sunday, or they just do a rematch. But Brock, otherwise, if they actually have the match, Brock's walking away with the title.
Like Brock goes overboard, New Day comes down to save Kofi, and they're like, you know what? Since you guys interfered, we're gonna do it at Hell in a Cell.
Right, something. Maybe Dominic and Ray gets involved beforehand or some shit. I don't know. But speaking of, I'll save that. Soft marshmallow ass got bounced around by Brock Lesnar.
yeah, save it. But other than that, like I said, check us out. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. Hit that bell notification so that you don't miss any of our uploads. If you want to share our content, we greatly appreciate that as well. And like I said, links will be down in the description for our Facebook page and to tune into the podcast. For all of you guys who've been supporting, thank you very much. You've been listening to Saturday Night SlamCasters. We up out of here. Holla at your boys. Peace.